The dust has not yet settled in Sri Lanka. We do not know who the perpetrators are. The death toll is above 200 corpses, and we are all left to speculate. Of course, we should refrain, and this is why you have not seen a video about Notre Dame yet from me. Because we as conservatives are supposed to be more accurate than the left. We are supposed to wait for all information, while the left can just report on every opening of a file or a book or whatever from some investigator and pretend that a tweet, some speculation and so on were newsworthy. They can spread rumors, create a climate, insinuate, and don't speak about specifics. But we, as conservatives, must always be right and must always wait for full information. Or at least, what is full information? For enough information to be 100% sure. Because the most minor mistake will be used to parade us through the streets. This brings me to a case of a parliamentarian of the party AFD. He was knocked down in January by two Antifa people, and the witness who gave him first aid told him that he was knocked down with a slab of wood. He told so his party friends and the police, and they quickly corrected him, saying that there was no evidence of a slab of wood. Now he has very deep gash on his forehead. It ultimately does not matter if a slab of wood was involved or not. What was shocking is that for over a week or so, article after article followed about, how he is just playing the victim. This is an exaggeration. The AFD is trying to exploit the event by saying that a weapon was used, but ultimately it does not matter if a weapon was used. The face is mutilated. He has a scar, a deep scar, big visual destruction of his face, and yet all that matters is that the witness may have made a mistake, and we are not yet sure about that at all, because the perpetrators have not been found, despite a surveillance video being released. It shows a number of people on the street who could have identified them on this with regards to the clothes, and they could have known for sure where they ran to, and then there were a lot of windows where other people could have seen them running past. After a month of mass interest in this, the only reason why there's absolutely nobody coming out and pointing the fingers at those who knocked him down is that they all feel intimidated by Antifa. Also today, a fellow YouTuber was knocked down by another Antifa guy, or left-wing extremist guy. It is shocking, and what was shocking most about this incident in January was really the tone, how the media reported it, and how important it supposedly was, whether the witness account was 100% accurate or not. This is utterly silly. One parliamentarian, a colleague of the victim, tweeted, "Nazis go away," in the tweet that said violence is not okay. he was calling the victim a Nazi, which is utterly distasteful. The victim is also the husband of a Turkish wife and has children, so 5 children who are half Turkish, half German. So that's their Nazi. But I want to speak about the assault on Christianity, maybe, because Notre Dame and the Easter attack in Sri Lanka, they are an attack on one column of the Western world. I see that as one of many. We have an onslaught against our industry with its Greta Thunberg cult. Then there is a diesel car mania. I do not even come around to speak about this. It's insanity. You cannot drive cars in a multitude of cities anymore because particles, dust that comes out of the car is supposedly risking your health suddenly. After, we have now the best, the cleanest cars ever, and suddenly they are a danger. Suddenly they must be banned. It's an attack on our core industry, and there's one big manufacturer, VW, that will probably drop out of car manufacturing altogether. There are some industries have completely shifted their core businesses. I think Hewlett Packard doesn't do printers anymore, but I'm not quite sure about that. IBM, once a computer company, is now into some business consultancy stuff, and VW is planning to do some, electro car nonsense that most certainly will not work. And they will also go into some business consultancy and some software development. So there is this attack on Christianity, then there's the attack on the industry. Of course, there's always the attack on democracy, which I speak about a lot in my video series, and also I spoke about it on my blog. And there is an attack on science itself. There was, for example, this CERN scientist who was kicked out of his job because he complained about being sent ever more affirmative action women as assistants. And there was this cancer researcher who made a joke about how he met his wife in a laboratory, and that women in science are a bit of a distraction, which is, it's cute. It's about his wife and how he met her. And this remark or joke was used to bully him out of every position. And he was a Nobel Prize winner. And this was, somebody who could have saved lives. And this was one factor of many why I became so red-pilled, because churches, that's sad, and the assaults on Israel, that's horrible, of course. The assault on our religion, on our culture, that is a terrible thing. But the left does not stop there. They are going into destroying science itself. They try, and I believe, and here's the thing, they really want to destroy the Western world. This is completely underestimated. It is not just that they have some obsession and by following it they destroy everything around them. No, I believe that there are masterminds on the political left who deliberately try to destroy your life. They want you to die earlier. They want your stuff to be taken away from you. They want to destroy everything that's good. And as much disdain I have for Islamists, and I was red pilled big time by Charlie Hebdo and the Garland terror attack. First, it all started out being disgruntled about Islam and about the lack of engagement of the Muslim community to tackle the problem. But very soon I saw that Muslims still have, some values, some core beliefs, something that they rely on, and something that they try to achieve, and they may damage other stuff to achieve what they believe in. There is some essentially good stuff that they try to follow. The left, and I'm in strong disagreement with many people on the conservative side about this. They don't have a utopia. They don't have any good they want to fight for. They want the revolution, and this was the first thing from the very beginning. Marx did not want to create something. At best, his work is a prediction of a revolution that suddenly all out of the blue would create the nicest things possible without any explanation, with the same mindset that prevails through Middle Ages, that if you replace one king by another king, the next guy will be the perfect human being, and therefore all your problems will be solved, and you do not have to care about the system that keeps him in check. That kind of mindset is basically also Marxist. They have not learned from the Middle Ages. They believe if one group of people is replaced by another group of people, and you do not change the system with which government is controlled, then everything will be fine. And the dictatorship of a proletariat will just, mean that they just remain proletariat and care for their common man, and everything will be fine. And they will just build up some administration that, does not involve any fights and any destructive behavior that we had grown used to. That does not know corruption. They will just make everything perfect because they are the dictatorship of the good. And this is what he supposedly believed, and I do not think for a second that Karl Marx actually believed this. I believe he just said, "Oh, you know what would be really cool if you kill as many people as possible. I want to see some blood." I think that this was a psychopath who just liked killing. And also, when you see the onslaught on democracy, for example, they are going after the founding fathers of America. They make a huge fuss about the fact that they were slaveholders. But during the American Civil War, Karl Marx was a prominent writer, and he remarkably focused on everything else but the lives of black people in America. He absolutely did not care. Why? Because he saw that bloodshed going on in America, yet he believed that this is a conflict of the past, and if he wants to kill more people, he must turn to the conflicts that may arise in future. So he riled up everybody against the industrialists, against common people trading with each other and building up their lives in a peaceful way. He tried to pit people against each other who are basically living peaceful side by side. That was the future, and he did so explicitly and only for the purpose to have a revolution and to kill as many people as possible. That was his mindset, and he did not believe for a second that suddenly a dictatorship of the proletariat would emerge that for no reason at all would suddenly do everything right and had no corruption. It's insane to think that he believed that. No, he wanted to kill, because many people have innately an aptitude for violence, and he was such a person. That's all. That's all the intellectual, philosophical part of it. And I still see more in common with Islam. It is based on also a mass murderer who happened to be a robber But outside of that, they have somewhat a civilization on which their values are built. You know, some hundreds of years of civilization and ideas, and they try to do something good with it or on it, and they make mistakes. I can forgive a Muslim very easily, even though we are seeing over 200 people slaughtered in Sri Lanka today. I can forgive that because I believe that ultimately these people can be returned to a reasonable behavior. For the radical left, I believe that all they want is kill us. That's all.